13 races down in 2025 and 3 to go. 47 points is the lead and 58 is what he needs. Oliver Rowland could become the 2025 World Champion of Formula E this weekend. We'll wait to see whether Lucas di Grassi, he'll be right at the back. No time in qualifying after a shunt in FP3. They've replaced the tub on that car. Sette camera alongside after a 3-place grid penalty for a red flag infringement. Drugovich and Nick Cassidy next up on the grid. Cassidy came from 21st to 5th here yesterday. Can he get a similar result this afternoon? Next up, you've got Vergne and Buemi. Then it's Jake Dennis and Sam Bird in the Neon McLaren. Zane Maloney will be spearheading Lola's charge from 14th on the grid. Gunter's got a 3-place penalty for ignoring a black and orange flag in free practice 3 this morning. David Beckman and then Jake Hughes also had a shunt in qualifying. He had his fastest lap deleted and lines up in 11th position. And then the top 10, here is how it lines up. Edo Mortara, back-to-back podiums for him yesterday after a 3rd position at the checkered flag. Next up, Mitch Evans, pole and a 2nd win of season 11 for him here on Saturday. Can he convert that into a strong result today? Oliver Rowland, 5-place grid penalty after contact with Van Dorn. He needs to get into 58 points of the lead of the championship to be crowned as that here this afternoon. Next up is Taylor Barnard, needs to beat Rowland by 11 points here today. Van Dorn, that's his first time starting 6th since Miami on the grid here for the Maserati MSG team. And Nico Müller makes his first dual appearance in season 11 with P5 on the grid. Second row is occupied by Robin Freitz, his 2nd successive top 4 start here this afternoon. Antonio Felix da Costa, meanwhile, will lead Porsche's challenge from the 2nd row of the grid. He'll be aiding their team's championship to increase it by 30 points. Dan Ticktum, an all-Porsche-powered front row, 2/10 slower in qualifying, though, than Pascal Wehrlein. His first pole position since Mexico. The gap to Oliver Rowland is 47 points, and he needs to outscore him here this afternoon to stay in contention for the Drivers' World Championship. 47 points is the gap. 58 is what Oliver Rowland needs here today to be crowned as the World Champion. Billy Munger, as we said, it's going to be a high-energy, intensity pack race here in Germany as the 22 drivers are lined up on the grid. The green flag will be waved at the back as the 5 red lights are about to come on. Who will win in Berlin as the lights go out? And we go racing. Good start from Wehrlein. Nice one from Ticktum off the front row of the grid as well. Look at Robin Freitz coming through on da Costa down towards the first corner, side by side with Wehrlein and Ticktum. Who leads into turn 2? Ticktum's got the inside line, but Wehrlein holds it around the outside. Da Costa up into 3rd as well against Robin Freitz. So he's up into P3. On the outside there is Nico Müller in the Andretti looking to get the better of Freitz through into the right-hander, but Wehrlein it is that leads.
Yeah, it's a solid start so far for the championship contender, Pascal Wehrlein there, all kind of being fairly calm and relaxed on this first couple of laps. We think this is going to be an energy-efficient race, which is why I don't think anyone's really going too gung-ho at the start.
Rowland's made a place up from where he started, 7th on the grid. Oh, blimey, look at that on the inside there as well. That is Taylor Barnard making some moves going down into the hairpin of turn 9.
Spoke too soon, didn't I, Tom? Spoke too soon. He said he was going to be aggressive, though, Taylor. He said it, even though he is in the championship fight, 3rd in the championship is Taylor Barnard. He did say he would be aggressive, and he's gone past 2 of them there in the last corner.
2 for the price of 1 then for Taylor Barnard. He's now up behind Dan Ticktum. Barnard through into 3rd after starting in 7th on the grid. Rowland still sits in P7 as we come to the end of the first lap.
Very different strategies there. Oliver Rowland's just sort of minding his own business there, making sure he keeps out of trouble as opposed to gets involved in anything. Taylor Barnard clearly wanted to get through, clearly wanted to be in behind Pascal Wehrlein, because I think he realises that Wehrlein's got the speed and will probably drag things out at one point of the race. He wants to be in the fight when it's ready.
Freitz coming under pressure here from da Costa on the outside. He's got Barnard on his inside as well. Concertina's up as we come through the turn 6 and 7 hairpin. A prime overtaking opportunity here in Berlin, and a lot of the drivers down on the grid were talking about the pace of the race. They didn't really know what the attack mode strategies are going to be in this one. They said we're just going to have to wait and see whatever the leader does and see what pace they set and time it from that.
I think there's multiple factors, which is why the strategy is hard to predict for today's race. Yesterday we had a pit boost race. That is different to what we have today. They do not have to make their mandatory stop for pit boost. Also the conditions, Alan. Yesterday wet weather conditions, mixed conditions. Today it's a dry race, and that affects how energy consumption will be used.
Yes, and also the circuit as well doesn't have any rubber down on it because it's been washed clean all the time as we've got the first person into attack mode. David Beckman has dropped in there and comes back out now with 4 minutes.
So maybe a bit more energy saving for Oliver Rowland to do then in the top 5. Let's have a look there. So you can see 69% for Oliver Rowland. That's pretty good compared to the other drivers in the sort of top 5 gaggle. Further down, though, you can see Jean-Eric Vergne has cycled up 8 places from where he qualified on the grid. And he's now 3% up relative to those drivers in front of him.
Yeah, Jean-Eric Vergne is driving a real cracker of a race so far in terms of his energy management. The guys at the back have got even more percentage to play with, but they're going to have to expend that to make their way through the field. And overtaking lots of cars in Formula E and trying to not be using too much energy, that is the tricky part to manage.
Are they going to do that when they take their attack mode? Are they going to use the attack mode power and use the extra energy they've got just to drive through the field up at that point?
Well, who are the drivers that are going to go into attack mode first of all? We're side by side here with Da Costa and Vergne for second place. Da Costa there on the outside, Vergne on the inside. 2 by 2 they go into 3 and 4, and they exit the same corner in the same positions as they entered. But Da Costa certainly signalling his intentions against his teammate as we come down into the hairpin bend. Further behind, you've got Evans trying to look on the inside of Muller. Sorry, I beg your pardon, that's Barnard as well there, looking for a lunge, and he gets pretty close there with Oliver Rowland for 5th position.
It's on those big curbs. If somebody goes down the inside and clips the inside curb, it bounces the car out. That's the risk area for Oliver Rowland.
Team radio.
Could be that you will be increasing pace now. We are in a good position there.
So now we're starting to hit that go point, aren't we? We're starting at the point where the drivers are going to increase the pace. They'll be starting to think about attack mode. Muller here on the outside with Taylor Barnard through the final series of corners.
Yeah, he lost a couple of positions in 9 and 10, the second of the hairpins. So he's dropped down, Muller, from 5th to 7th. And the Nissan powered cars of Oliver Rowland and Taylor Barnard have made up a place each. No one still to go for attack mode other than David Beckman, who used it earlier on to climb up the field. But at the minute, he is the only car to have gone through attack mode.
Rowland got a bit of a snap out of the last corner that allowed Barnard to close right up on him. Barnard decided not to have an attack, but Rowland just got it right up against the wall there.
Frank's having a great run of things inside the top 3 for Envision. There hasn't been particularly a lot to smile about since their team's win of the championship back in season 9. It's great to see him up the sharp end of the field. Let's have a look at a replay here for Taylor Barnard. He's on the inside of Nico Muller. This is where he got really close with Oliver Rowland into turn 7. And like you said, Alan, just one clip of the higher curb on the inside there, and it could have been good night Vienna.
Yeah, it's not the blue and white curb, it's actually the big concrete section behind it that would lift the front of the car off the ground and bounce it across into the car on the side of it.
So across the timing line we go. Vergne, still it is that leads. Then Freitz now into 2nd position. Da Costa.
Yeah, he's compromising the others as opposed to compromising himself.
Yeah, he's sort of becoming the disruptor here, isn't he, Taylor Barnard, for the rest of the other drivers. As Tickton there with the Porsche of Antonio Felix da Costa on the inside. You've got Rowland there again, still with Taylor Barnard, just cannot shake him off, and indeed Barnard goes through. Well, that's probably for the best there for Oliver Rowland, just keeps him out of trouble for the time being, such as the aggressiveness that we've seen from the overtakes of Taylor Barnard. There is da Costa with Dan Tickton, it fans out massively. Rowland on the inside, 3 into 1, can they make it work into turn 7? Crunch of carbon fibre, and miraculously they all managed to make it out relatively unscathed.
I have to be honest with you, though, I just thought it was going to be a replay of yesterday when Rowland went down the inside and had a collision and put himself out of the race. That was pretty tight there.
On board here with Dan Tickton, who's now been relegated back down to 6th position and could be coming under threat here from yesterday's race winner, Mitch Evans, as we see Da Costa versus Freitz for 3rd.
I think for me, in that moment there in turn 6 and 7, where it got really tight, if anyone picked up contact there, it would have been Dan Tickton. He was in the middle of those 3 cars as Oliver Rowland dives to the inside, makes up a position into turn 1. Still no attack mode being used.
Yeah, he wanted to get past Tickton there. That was a clear point. He got shuffled behind him earlier on the lap, but Rowland wanted to be ahead of Tickton.
Barnard it is that wants to lead this race, I think, as well, because he's right on the back here of Pascal Vergne, and you sense that he might be going for a dive to the inside, going into the hairpin of turn 6. Vergne knows that, goes for the defensive line and holds position.
Yeah, defensive line, but also we heard Verline's engineer saying that things were going to speed up. They're not. They're actually a 1.5 seconds slower now than they were about 3 or 4 laps ago.
Well, considering after 11 laps, when we saw the energy reveal, they'd used close to 1/3 of their energy for the race, and a third of the race would be about 12.5 laps or so. So I think potentially we saw them over-consuming slightly early on, hence why the pace has dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all there, so that's why we haven't seen anybody going into attack mode, so the pace has just dropped off a little bit. They're keeping it pretty steady. 19 laps then to go as Barnard goes for the lead here on Pascal Vergne, but here comes the Costa on Verline's inside. The gap's going to open there for Barnard. That's a lunge down into turn 2. Can he make it stick? He can. And now Taylor Barnard, the venue where he scored his debut points here 12 months ago, leads a race in the Neon McLaren.
Looking at the attack mode users, we've got one towards the back of the field, Sette camera, but Mortara is also using attack mode.
Yeah, Buemi's in some bother at turn 2, isn't it? So what's happened there to Sebastian Buemi as he had contact, has a technical problem befallen the envisioned driver. If they can't get that car recovered, it could trigger a full course yellow, maybe even a safety car, which would change the complexion of this race and change the strategies. They'll be trying to do a Control-Alt-Delete reset for Buemi to hope that he can get going, at least get back to the pit lane. Safety car is out. Safety car then is deployed. So the race then is neutralised. They're allowed to race up to another safety car board, but they'll see that there as they come into the final 3 corners. And it means now that Barnard can just have a bit of breathing space at the sharp end of this race. The Costa in second, Vergne in third, and Mortara will be the big loser for this one because he's not long in attack mode. It's interesting as well because the safety car normally is a bit of a godsend to those who are further back down the order, but incidentally the gap was about 10 seconds between first and last as they came across the timing line, such is the way that they're all conserving energy. It's actually increased under the safety car to about 15 seconds. It will of course decrease once the safety car comes in, but again, like I say, normally if you're further back, it's a saving grace because it bunches the rest of the pack who will lead the field across the line. He effectively becomes the safety car at this point until we come to the timing line, which will then resume green flag racing. Lap 22 as we go green once again here in Berlin. Barnard leads them across along with Da Costa, Vergne, Evans and Freitz down in towards turn 1. No challenges there for Barnard from behind. Does anybody make a move? Well, Jean-Marie Vergne with expendable energy as Barnard's gone in for attack mode straight away, and he's going to pull in there behind the 2 Tag Heuer Porsches. He'll have an extra 50 kilowatts of power. He'll have all-wheel drive as well. And how is he going to use this to his advantage?
This is a bold strategy from Taylor Barnard because he's quite quickly, you would assume, going to get into the lead, but that means he's not going to be efficient. He's already back into the lead, but now he's going to be pushing his own air. He's not going to be efficient.
Yes, but he is going to also break the gap and the toe to Pascal Vergne or Da Costa behind him. So actually, his energy efficiency is going to not help them because he's just going to speed away from them quite quickly.
Yeah, and what that means is that Da Costa rather, will become that cork in the bottle. He had 2% more energy over Da Costa and Vergne, if you remember. So let's see how well Barnard can use this one. You would imagine we're going to get some purple sector times coming in here as we end lap 22.
Looks like Da Costa's also probably pushing and maybe over-consuming, trying to keep up with Barnard at the moment.
Yeah, fastest lap easily there for Taylor Barnard, even with attack mode. We're down into the 1 minute 2 seconds, so we're now hitting the go point of this race. Look at Evans, who's come through as well. He's into 4th position on the grid from 9th. So that's going well for Mitch Evans. And look at Barnard, he is absolutely catapulting away. We've got a yellow flag, though, out at turn 2, and it's Nico Müller that's come to a stop. We could see another safety car then here as well. I think Sam Bird might be involved in the second of the Neon McLarens.
And now hit targets. We can underconsume slightly. Let's be efficient.
Yeah, it's a double yellow down at turn 2. Muller's going to get going again, but Bird is going nowhere. If that calls a safety car, that is going to ruin the strategy there for Taylor Barnard.
Yeah, it is going to ruin it. It looks like Bird isn't going anywhere because the tyre's off the rim on the front. And he's stuck.
Safety car out, sorry, Alan, to go in front of you. Got it on our timing screen, comes up now on the TV, and the safety car is deployed at Barnard. Well, he'll be very, very disappointed with that.
That's catastrophic. I don't mean to be too over the top with saying that, but losing out on 2 minutes of attack mode. Now he's got 1 left. The field's going to get bunched up once again. So even the lead that he was working on to maybe go for attack mode. And then I'm not quite sure what's happened here.
Yeah, we need to see another angle of it. Let's have another look at this one, see if it helps us paint more of the picture. It's in the background there, and well, they both go deep. Did they both have technical problems? Maybe Müller, yeah, Muller's got the puncher already there, hasn't he?
Yeah, there's a left rear and a right front issue, but where that came from.
Let's have a look on board here. Driver's eye view with Nico Müller. So we're coming down towards the first corner. It's Bird that's directly... there's contact. Yeah, right, okay. So they had contact before on the straight.
So Bird has hit the back of Nico Müller, hence the reason the left front and the right rear.
Yeah. So they weren't going for attack mode then, I think we can clarify. And for actual fact, they ended up there because Sam Bird was on the inside of Nico Müller with that front right puncher.
Yeah, and then we end up with a train of cars with Nico Müller trying to find reverse as Bird jumps out of it, and he quite clearly is frustrated, and they're busy having a committee meeting about it, all the while Muller is looking to get back into the race.
Yeah, it's not very helpful when you're trying to find reverse gear when the driver in front of you is trying to have a conversation at the same time. Multitasking is going to be tricky. Let's look at it from Sandberg. It was a late move there from Nico Muller for me. I think that when you're under braking, it's a tricky braking zone down through turns 1 and 2 there. I can see why Sandberg's frustrated.
Yeah, you can see he already knew that the suspension was knackered after that point as well. He's just biffed it into it, and Sandberg, we are expecting this to be, again, I think that might add at least one more lap to this race. We'll get confirmation of that once the race control have worked it all out. But it is going to be Taylor Barnard that leads the end of this race. But he, of course, has used one attack mode and was thwarted by that safety car after the incident involving his teammates. And now, how does Barnard play this one? He's still got a bit more energy over Vergne and Da Costa. Can he use that to his advantage? Further back, though, look at the likes of Nick Cassidy, Max Günther, Jean-Eric Vergne. They've got loads more energy, so they can cycle through. And, of course, they've got 2 attack modes available as well. And they're in a prime position, both of the DS Penske's on the fringes of the top 10. So, around the final corner we go at the end of lap 25 to begin lap 26. Taylor Barnard it is that leads in the Neo McLaren, followed by Vergne and Da Costa as the green flag flies once again, and we go racing. Does anybody further back behind Barnard go for the attack mode straight away? They do. Vergne goes straight in at the start of this one. Fright's in as well. Rowland follows suit, and likewise Jean-Eric Vergne as well. They're all in, trying to use attack mode and make hay whilst the field's all bunched up following the restart.
It's interesting there to see Oliver Rowland follow Pascal Vergne straight in to use his attack mode. It feels like he's just deploying the same strategy as Pascal Vergne, trying to almost mimic his race in order to not have a result where he's caught out with a late safety car or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a mitigation strategy as opposed to an attacking strategy. But at the end of the day, why does he have to have an attacking strategy? He's got a huge points lead, and it's a case of needing Pascal, or Pascal needing, I should say, to take some big points away from Rowland.
Certainly is coming in towards the final few corners. What progress can Rowland make? The problem is he's got Fright's right in front of him. Fright is also in attack mode, so he's going to hope that they can work together and cycle through. Mortara in front has used one of his attack mode deployments. He got unlucky with the first safety car. Pack races.
Alan called it earlier. He said Nick Cassidy is one to watch. Now we find out 3 added laps. So how does this affect the drivers out there that have been conserving energy better? You would expect it would play into their favour.
I think Cassidy's got this race now to lose, hasn't he? He's in second position. He's got more attack mode available. Everybody else behind going through for their final attack mode deployments, barring Stoffel Van Dorn. So what's his strategy in the closing stages?
It's not looking good for Pascal Vergne, guys, because everyone in front of him has now taken attack mode, so he can't use that extra power like Oliver Rowland did to make progress through the field. So we've got a change for the lead, Tom.
Yeah, we certainly have. Cassidy goes through into the lead, but this would be enough for Oliver Rowland to be crowned as the world champion here this afternoon. He would have that 58 points advantage, which he so desperately needs if he finishes in second position. Drugovich is up into third place in all of the chaos that's been unfolding. That is an absolutely fantastic performance from the Brazilian.
Cars that at the start of the race looked comfortable. They were happy to lead the race. They've all overconsumed. Pascal Vergne's down in 15th, Ticktum 16th, Beckman 17th. Da Costa is the best of the lot, and even he's down to 9th.
Oh, Barnard on the inside, side by side there with Evans. Doesn't want to give this one up. Contact between the two on the exit of turn 2. Barnard through, still on the inside, muscling Evans to the outside onto the wall of turn 4. But somehow Evans just has enough room to get the gap, get the position, and get 5th place on Taylor Barnard.
Got 5th place in Taylor Barnard, but look at the gap to Oliver Rowland now. That's allowed Rowland to stretch it out, and now they're all out of their attack mode.
This is enough for Oliver Rowland, and it's given him just a bit of breathing room.
Full course yellow in 3, 2, 1. Full course yellow, please. Full course yellow.
Full course yellow then. A full course yellow out on track, and we're trying to work out what the reasoning for that is at the moment. I think it could be Robin Freitz that's come to a stop somewhere out on the circuit. But he's dropped right down to 19th position.
Maloney, I think, has stopped at the last triple left-hander that they're coming up to at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's Freitz there, isn't he? He's out of the car. And there's Sandberg's car as well. So a very quick full course yellow.
3, 2, 1 green flag, please.
Full course yellow ends then, so we come to the end of this one to begin the final lap. Nick Cassidy it is that is in the pound seats. Jake Dennis there in second position, Vergne up into third, Oliver Rowland. All he's now going to do is keep this cabinet consistent, not lose any places. P4 would be enough.
1.4 seconds, this is advantage over Mitch Evans in fifth. This is consistent. This is an advantage that he can build on. He's got 1 lap to go here. Oliver Rowland, this is him for the championship.
This is going to be the longest lap of Oliver Rowland's life, down through into the hairpin of turn 6 and 7. Nothing to worry about behind. Tommaso Volpe is going to be chewing his fingernails down to the bone. Can he get onto the podium in the closing stage of this one? I think it's a bridge too far, but it doesn't matter there for the British driver. Now down through into turns 9 and 10. Well, the boy from Barnsley 32 years ago, he awoke with a dream. One dream to become the world champion. And he is about to realise that. He comes through into the Triple Apex final corner here in Berlin. Oliver Rowland for Nissan. As Cassidy comes across the line to take victory here in Berlin. Dennis in second and Rowland in third. Oliver Rowland is the 2025 Formula E World Champion here in Berlin. What an absolutely phenomenal season for Oliver Rowland. And he was right there when it mattered, and you can see what it means for the Nissan Formula E team. We're hoping for some team radio there, but I think they're overcome with emotion. And after...
World champion. Mate, we're world champion. World champion without ballast. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Oliver, this is Tommaso. You are an amazing comeback, the best comeback in the sport, world champion. We have a special message for you.
Daddy, you're the world champion! Yeah! Daddy, you're the world champion! You're the world champion! Yeah! Bye.
Oh, thanks, Fox. Love you, Lauren. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody at Nissan. Thanks, John. Thanks, FCA. Thanks, whole team. Incredible.
Yeah, we did it, man. We did it.
Ollie, this is Alan here. You are world champion. You're very emotional. Tell us what it feels.
For sure it hasn't sunk in. Honestly, I didn't expect it today. I mean, Pascal was on fire this morning, and all I could think about was having a big dent in the lead. So, yeah, I just can't believe it. I've been here a long time trying. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You've done it now. Enjoy the podium celebrations. You're number 1.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Oliver Rowland is the 20. Weren't quite what he had in mind, really. And even yesterday, his first DNF of the season, to bounce back from that with the championship here today, phenomenal.
Yeah, I think when you say the results were hard to come by, that was relative to the dominance that he had at this beginning of the season. Ultimately, though, he's had probably one of the most dominant seasons in Formula E history.
Yeah, incredible job from Oliver Rowland. Great job from Nick Cassidy as well. That's his second win in 3 weekends of Formula E. He will be delighted with that. It's his third win at Tempelhof as place at the checkered flag, believe it or not. This race fell apart like a cheap watch. Now time for the FIA medal to be presented, first of all, to Nick Cassidy, his second one of the season. Great job from the Kiwi. And now time then for the winner's trophy once more.
And finally, please welcome Manfred Sandbichler, Senior
Manfred
Director
Sandbichler,
of
the Hankook Motorsports Europe Director, once again presents the winner's trophy here in Berlin. And it is awarded to Nick Cassidy. 2 in a row for Jaguar TCS Racing. They're like London buses. You wait for one, and then 2 come along all at once. Great result for that team. Delight for the back at the base in Kidlington as well. And now time for the champagne showers to begin. Thankfully, in the sunshine today in Germany. What a weekend it has been. Drama, delight, disappointment, and action aplenty. And I cannot wait for the finale of the championship as we head into London in a fortnight's time with our new world champion of 2025,